Alright, let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well tonight. Tonight we're going back into the NearBeach code. So, on the weekend, I was able to implement the select functionality. I figured out what I was doing wrong. I might as well actually just show you guys. So if we go into the web storm stuff, I'll quickly pull that in. Alright, and then I'll just pull the code in. I'll close all these other tabs and so forth like that. Close all tabs in group. Yeah, let's just close all of this. We don't need any of that open. So I've made a bit of a mistake. So I've changed what I've done. If we go into the components, we go into the select. With the select itself, I've moved... Looks like I haven't pushed my code. Alright, so I haven't pushed my code, but that's perfectly fine. We can all use our imagination. I've moved these... Actually, no, I have pushed my code. There it is, computed. So the options without a group and what option, group options and options with a group are now computed. Easy done. So I've just done that. Also, with the testing, what I'm doing now is it was having a problem. I couldn't get down to the props and stuff like that, and I realized after doing a bit of research, yeah, I'm doing everything wrong. So I was very close with the find components. Render options, I had this wrong. It's not meant to be props, it was meant to be VM, and then I could get to group options and so forth like that. It was so close. So yeah, oh well. Now I know we can move on. I kinda started the multi-select, so there's nothing there at the moment. This will actually happen over time, but at the moment it's not going to be a blocker for me. There's other things that are going to cause me to have blockage. So we're just moving on. Easy done. What else I want to do tonight is, if I just go to the mockup, I want to get this page done. This create your new project. I want to get the title and this all done. I want to get the group permissions also done and have the ability to create this. Now, last time we were in NearBeach, we got this done. Once again, this is the mock-up. It'll look slightly a bit different. We've got the search done. We haven't actually implemented the filter out external groups. Not yet. But that will come at a later date. But the good news about this search project is we can start putting it on other different areas. It's just that the API doesn't actually have any other groups hooked up to it yet. The idea here is we will hook those up at a later date, hopefully shortly. So yeah, and then this will work because this will be shared. All right, so create new project would be very, very similar to also task. If I go into demo.nearbeach.app, you'll have a look. Your organization will have its own custom thing. New customer will have its own custom thing. New Kanban board will have its own custom thing. But new project, new requirement, new task, and new request for change will all have the same this. Yeah, with the ability that all of these other particular fields are going to be optional at the start. So yeah, they'll be optional. You'll be able to quickly create that component and then sort of work with it. There will be some extra validation added on top of them at the sort of what am I trying to say, at the update level or the submit level. So for example, the request for change, when you go to submit a request for change, it'll need all those particular bits of data filled out. We'll be having the UI to actually tell the user, hey, you haven't filled these out yet. So yeah, I just got to do that. All right, oops, I I was meant to actually put that little guy right there. There we go. We've got about 30 seconds left with the ads. For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch just because pre-rolled ads suck. I do apologize. We do this so no one misses out on any content. And we'll jump straight into it once this is done. So yeah, because I want to get the new project or the new object set up and done, which would be nice to actually do. So yeah, we got a bit of global information which we need to fetch and so forth like that too. So yeah, it's going to be pretty good. All right, welcome back everyone. So we're going to go straight back over to here. I'm just going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. I think we're running the local server, so I'm just going to go localhost. We're just going to log in. Don't worry, I'll just log in like that. Easy done. So there is something that we've got to do. If I just minimize that, there is something that we've got to do. So one of the issues. Oh, sorry, be good. One of the issues that we do actually have is we don't know the group permissions. And as you can see, there's nothing in there at the moment. We're going to actually get a select statement for that. But also at the same time, what we've got to do, implement is we're going to only, in this first initial draft, we're only going to implement the group permissions that the user currently has. Later on, we'll re-implement it with the more the ability to multi-select groups and stuff like that, and have the basic logic. Now, the reason being for that is we currently don't have a multi-select. And that's it. That's all it is at the moment. That being said, multi-selects will come in the near future. That is my next component that I'm working on, followed by tabs, which will then hopefully give us the ability to create the project information page. And then from there be able to quickly scale out everything else. So yeah, as for this, for the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to have this as well. We've got to create your new project in here. The title will be the same. The group permissions, yeah, there'll be a single drop down, and it'll default onto an option that the user has access to. Now, I don't want to land on this page and constantly request every single time what groups the user has access to, so we're actually going to create a state that fills out automatically. Now, it should, we've also got to kind of design it so that way we've got the permissions that the user has. So that way we can deal with what's here. So, for example, settings. If the user doesn't have any administration sort of rights, the settings will disappear. If the user doesn't have any read rights for the request for change, that will disappear, and so forth like that. So we've got to sort of implement this that it happens when this page loads up. And that's going to be a blocker for everything at the moment. So that's our major priority tonight, is to get that done. We've got to create the state management system for it. We've got to then hook this navbar into it so that way it'll work. I wonder if logout will work. No, it doesn't. I've got to fix up the logout button, so that will happen to also. That will also happen. Yeah, so I've just got to get that all sorted. Now, I've been thinking a lot around permissions and so forth like that. So the back end, I'm deciding to potentially set up Redis to cache a lot of the permissions that the user might actually need checking over and over and over again. For example, when they submit save on a project or create a new project or something like that, it'll check those permissions and what level they actually have. all of that information can actually be stored in key pair values. And a Redis database is great for that. I don't think it should take up too much RAM. The benefit would be there for definitely for scaling and stuff like that. Because I don't need constant permission calls. Because the user permissions don't change that often. Alright, so first things first, what we're going to do is Pinia. I was clearly not typing the right thing then. So we've got this already set up because we're utilizing it already for other sort of things. What we want to do is we want to go into source. We've got stores. Now in here we've already got nav. As you can see, this is the nav store. It's pretty very simple sort of stuff. And we've got the search store. Very simple stuff. Once again with the stores, this is the search. So we've got this already set up. It's pretty easy. We can patch each of these results, either all at once or partially patch and so forth like that. That's actually working on the search. So if we go into here and we go, let's say team, boom. This will need to be polished a little bit more. Because as you see, there's a little boop. That is something that I do want to do down the track. I just need to figure out how I want to actually tackle that. Whether or not I have an overlay or something like that. Yeah. And then if I type in something random, it'll bring up nothing. And I've got to have a no results found sort of thing. All right. So, and that will click that and change all that. That's actually working really fast. So if I go QA team, instantly with that actually took 39 milliseconds. Let's time that. 17 milliseconds. So yeah, pretty quick. But once again, this is my local computer. It's not changing everywhere. All right. Sorry, it's not sending the request all over the world. Alright, so we've got the search, we've got the nav bar. What we're going to do is we're going to have one up here and we're going to call it permissions. Easy done. And we're going to include a file and it's going to be called permissions.ts. We're also going to add in the test file too. So permissions.spec.ts. Once again, we always go permission.spec.ts. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm just wondering if I did the search permissions. I have not done the search permissions yet. That's my bad. I do need to get those sorted, but there's not much to test here. That's the problem. There's no business logic here in the sense that we're just getting it. In fact, I think we can bypass the getters. Oh, it's a bike. All right. I was wondering what that noise was. Yeah, so I don't know what to do with the unit tests here, but I'll figure it out. So yeah, at least with the nav bar, we had some business logic which we just needed to test, even though it's simple business logic. I am just going to open up the search one again to reference that because I'm not quite familiar with Pinera yet. We want to import, define the store from Pinera, suite, export, const, use. Now this is where I'm going to go permission store equals, we want to define store as permissions. And then we've got a bunch of options. So the state at the moment, we don't know what will be in the state, so I'm just going to go add code. Oops, that's not meant to be like that. That's meant to be like that. Meant to be like that. And then we'll have the getters. Once again, I don't know how good this will be. What I want to do is I want to find out one thing. And whether or not this is a good thing, or actually I should stay away from it. Typically performed within actions, which is designed to handle asynchronous operations and commit state. So it might be possible. All right, no, this looks good. All right. So yeah, this is in. Oh, that's not what I want. All right. All right, actions, registered user, this.api post. All right, considering this has got this down in here, I don't know what Mandel is. Oh. All right, yeah. Except we're going to be using Axios just because I'm really familiar with Axios and I don't want to sort of use multiple different libraries and stuff like that. It looks like, yeah, they've got registered user and then send it all off and then they manipulate the data in here, which is exactly what we want to do. So what I want to do is up here, now, there's a couple of things which I'll actually open up data grip. Shove data grip over here. Just refresh, make sure I can connect. All right, I'm after permission sets. There we go. Yeah, let's just open it up. So in here, you can see that we've got the connection to the group. Admin create group, add permission, create permission set, and all of this fun stuff. We've now just got to figure out how we want to structure the data, and I haven't really given that a thought. You know, I've also don't have my I've got my tablet, but I just don't have a cord for it. Actually, no, I do. I do actually have a cord. That's dusty as hell. I am going to connect this back up, but please bear with me. I am going to run right to my get that cord. I'll be right back. Alright, I've got the cord. It's been months since I've done this. All right. Pumpkin tablet. All right, so. Yep. I don't know what they're doing. All right, permission state. Also, I just want to see if this chill hop has fixed their sign-in process yet. No. All right. No problem. So, one of the states that I want to actually sort of calculate is whether or not they can create something or read something. Mainly just for this. Now, the dashboard will be fine. That will always appear. Kanban board, if the user doesn't have any access to Kanban boards, we don't want that to show. We just want to hide that menu item. Same with requirement, project, task, and request for change. So all of those objects should disappear. Same with settings too. So if they're not an administrator, they shouldn't have access to settings. So what we want is we want an object minimum permission. I'm going to use a smaller. Thank you. That took like thousands of clicks. Object minimum permission. All right, easy done. The other thing which we kind of want to actually do is have a current object. So for example, let's say I go into here, let's go to the mockup. So if I'm in here in the mockup and I need to know if I've got permissions or anything like that. All right, cool. Sorry, I'm just getting thousands of messages at the moment. I need the system to know what the current object permissions are set. So, for example, for this, it'll look at the groups and compare it to the other permission sets and so forth like that. And yeah. So, we'll have object minimum permissions. Socks your tails in the way. And then we'll have current object permissions. And then follow from that, it will be permission data. Easy done. So permission data will be literally the raw dump that we actually get from the backend. It'll be essentially the group and the permission set that they've got access to. Yeah, it'll be basic sort of information. Information which doesn't matter if the front user actually gets it, because they can actually know that information just by using the system itself. Like if they can't edit tasks, they don't have any task permissions, thus task permission will be 0. So yeah, now we've just got to think of the structure for this. Now, current object permission, you might think that is a 1, 2, 3 and all that kind of stuff, and be like, all right, yes, but it gets a little bit more complicated than that. So some of the complexities with it is you've got add-on permissions for like document permissions and notes and so forth like that. So what I was thinking with this one is it'll be an object, and it will contain the object permission, followed by the maximum of the additive permissions. So the additive permissions for most users are not needed. It's just for read-only users. So for example, you could give a read-only user the ability to upload documentation and so forth like that. So yeah, it's not hard. For example, schedule object is an additive one. Organization note, requirement note, requirement item note, task note, project note, Kanban note, additive ones. And RW Grimm, how are you going? Also, congrats on the 9 years. I sadly couldn't congratulate you in your stream. I was just so many calls today. So dealing with a very old .NET site. Yeah, too many years. Oh, fair enough. So yeah, how's everyone going? Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. For those joining, I'm Robotic Head. I'm working on an open source project management system called NearBeach. Now, 0.31 is out. We're still supporting 0.31. However, we're slowly moving to 0.32, which we're just getting rid of all the technical debt. It's going through a redesign. It will hopefully look a little bit nicer than this. This is just the mock-up. But yeah, the idea is we're going to make it look a lot nicer and just work a lot better. So yeah, I need to be awake for a call in 6 hours, so I'm going to run. Oh yeah, thank you very much for the raid, and yeah, congratulations once again on 9 years. So yeah. And Ivanhoe, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. Welcome. So yeah, we're just working on that at the moment. I have, because we're moving to a single page application, kinda a single page application. The application itself is single page, but the login is different. And Zeke Clive, hey, welcome back. We are going to send the front end the user's permissions that they should know that they have. And it's just for that one user. It's just to tell the system, hey, they have access to the Kanban board requirements and so forth like that. So I'm just sort of thinking out loud how I'm going to structure this in our state management. You're going, well, oh, that's good to hear. So with the current object permissions, we'll have the, it'll be stored as an object. We'll have the object permission, the current object permission, which will be from 0 to 4, and then additive permissions, which will be all of these particular fields in here that, once again, 0 to 4. We'll actually have a look up what they are in the models table in a bit. As for the object minimum permissions, this is also going to be an object. And we're quite literally just going to go from top to bottom. It's just going to be Kanban board, requirement, project task, request for change, and admin, or settings. All navbar things. I can't be bothered rewriting all of that out. So yeah. Alright. We might as well start building this. Sox is here, giving moral support, and she'll probably sit down on the keyboard in a minute, as is required. So with the state, we just want to return, we will have, what did I name them over here? Object minimum permissions. So minimum permissions. We'll make that as an object. So current object permissions. That will also be an object. And I did see a lot. Permission data, which will be an array. We'll get out the types in a minute, but let me get the state in. I'll get the backend done, and then we'll get the types in. As for minimum permissions, once again, hello, what's the backend used on this project? Django. So I'm using Django as the for the backend, along with Django REST framework for the API stuff. So yeah. We'll have the Kanban board. That will be a 0. Requirement project. All right, requirement project. Oops, task and request for change. And I'm just gonna put settings for the moment. We might change that to admin in the future. Yeah, element OPQR. So that will go after. Request for changes actually goes there, and that one goes there. Sorry, I like things in alphabetical order. It makes it easier for me to find stuff because I can never find stuff. As for the object permissions, what we'll actually have, I'm just also going to bring up current object. That's going to be 0. We're just going to minimize that. We're going to open up this. We are going to open up NearBeach models, which is somewhere in here. Talking about finding stuff. This will be part of the permissions. And this is part of the permission set. So I'm just going to go from top to bottom on this. Don't worry too much about what's there. I'm just trying to remind myself what additive permissions I already have. All right. And for those on Twitch, don't forget exclamation point drop followed by your favorite emoji. We've got to beat Nightbot because Nightbot cheats. All right, I need to skip all the admin stuff. That's perfectly fine. Customer, Kanban board, organization, project, request for change, requirement, scheduled object, and sprint are all objects. Task and tag, those are all objects. I'm so glad I did this. So during the refactoring of the database, I've done something which I am very happy that I've done. I've actually described stuff in here. All right, thank you, past me, because this just makes this so much easier. I've got document, I have Kanban note, I have project note, I have task note, requirement note. So these are just additive stuff for read-only users to get permission when they don't have permission because they're read-only. All right, that's it. Sorry, I like putting these in alphabetical order. I've got to do that eventually with the database. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Permission data, we'll come up with the solution a bit later on. Now, I might as well program this in at the moment. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it like that. Let's get the API set up. So, minimizing everything. Let's go NearBeach. Let's go NearBeach. Let's go into our views. We've got our API. Now, we've got authentication up there. That's to authenticate. We've got the available data. We've got object data. We've got users. Now, users doesn't have anything in it. This is where we want to have permissions. So, I want to create a new thing called permissions underscore API underscore view.py because I like following that naming convention. We could potentially use this for CRUD too. So when you're updating user permissions, we could hit this endpoint also at the same time to actually get the update the user permissions. Now, I'm just trying to think if I open up the coffee one, because the coffee one has all of the what we usually get. So we've got create. We'll leave create out for the moment. We'll leave destroy out for the moment. We'll probably deal with list. Oh, we've hit an ad break. All right. For those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's just to stop the pre-rolled ads because the pre-rolled ads suck. We tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. You get to see Socks exclusively in big screen, though she is hiding behind bin chicken at the moment. And Nope Fish, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So yeah, this is get it there slowly. So yeah, this is a big. I do want to get the permissions done down pat and correctly. I'm just wondering if I want to only just do one of the node points at the moment and then implement the others at a different time. Future me would love the fact if I actually get everything done tonight. However, I don't know what is going to be happening in the future. That's the problem. Is when I go to design these sorts of things, it could change how the back end reacts with the front end. So I'm going to lean on let's not implement all the CRUD tonight. Let's only implement the listings. So going back into here, we've got the list. We won't need the partial updates. We won't need a single retrieve. And we're not using update method. All right, sweet. I'm just putting that back over there for reference. Ooh, Socks, be careful, please. You know how dangerous that is. So from the Django REST framework, spectacular.utilities extend schema, we're going to be using that to stop people from... We're going to stop the schema from compiling, from documenting this. Reason being is we don't want to actually document this this process. All right, from REST framework, we want to import our view sets and our statuses like usual because we'll be using that. And we want to responses also. So we're going to go extend schema, exclude equals true, easy done, and then we're going to go class. This is going to be permissions. What is my usual name? Sorry. Yeah, I dropped the API from there. All right, cool. I'm just double checking that. So permission view set. Now this is not going to be a model view set, is it? It's just going to be a normal view set. Just because of how I'm going to do the serializer and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, I'm going to go serializer class. For the moment, is none. Once again, I can change this in the future. What I do need to do is we need to go, if we actually have a look at the project API. Oh, I don't have the project API. That's terrible of me. All right, that is... Yeah, I should be having something like that. I need to go back through my code and actually implement this properly. Okay, so class dealing with user permissions API. Done. All right, now at the moment I don't know if it'll stay a static method, but we're just keying it in there for shits and giggles. We're just going to go this list. We're going to go request because I'll need the request. And then there's args and quags, isn't it? Yeah, args and quags. At the moment we're going to return a response. The data will be message. I have not set it up. Oops, I was meant to do a little comma at the end of that. And status will equal status dot I'm just going to do a 500. So we haven't set anything up. That's fine. That's all we need. Oops. Got the cap locks on again. There we go. He's done. I can get rid of that line. So that's the base of it. We need to go to the URLs and actually key it in to be like, hey, listen, send a request to here. So we're going to go to the URLs. We're going to go into the... Now, this is API internal. We don't want this getting out there. As you can see, we've got authentication, forgotten password, authentication, reset password. Hi, silly question. What keyboard do you use? I have a command, I think. Yep, that's the keyboard I'm using. However, it's fairly old at this point in time. There are some keys that are starting to fail on it. I'm thinking of getting a new one. So, yeah. I'm just saving up money to buy a new keyboard. So, yeah, one of these days. Alright, so after all of this, so we've got authentication. I've just got to think of a good URL for this. Now I'm just going to have a look at the folder structure itself because that's going to give me some inspiration. We've got use, and then user. I'm honestly thinking of... Sorry, my brain's trying to think ahead of time, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up an example of what we currently do. So this is NearBeach 3.1. I've gone into the wrong thing. We want to go into NearBeach. Yeah, there it is, up at the top. Why is it up at the top? I don't understand. We want to go into views. We want to go into API, and... no, we don't want to go into this. We want to go into URLs. Specifically, the API URLs. And if we have a look, we're doing a lot of this. And I'm thinking of implementing that. Now you might be asking, why haven't I done it for the other ones? It's... because I've done it like that, but they're as view also. Careful, socks. Alright. I'm just going to do what we've done up there. I'm just going to go user permissions. We're just going to go in here and we're going to ignore that for the moment. I'm just going to, muck all that up. We're just going to go up here. We've got from NearBeach.views.ap version 1.user import, and we're going to import and Hungry Hippo. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. We are going to go. This would be the use permissions API view. So down here, we're just going to go permission API view dot permission view set dot as view set, and we're just going to keep it like that. I like the username and permissions there. Yeah. So that's all done. That's then connecting up this. So now we should be able to, if we actually go to the front end, let's go localhost API. I can't type, and then we go user permissions. We're going to get cannot connect. I've broken something somewhere. Yeah, I have. Oh, fair enough. My day job's .NET. So I'm not fussed what language I use or anything like that. It's just when I was doing NearBeach, I knew Django a lot better than I knew Laravel or .NET. So yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking, is it a problem in here? Tell you what, I'm going to go to one of these. This is an API view. Oh, that's how I've done it. All right, so minor change. We are going to rename this. Yes, I know, Socks. You want Pats. There we go, you're getting Pats. Oh, fair enough, yeah. Yeah, I really like both of them. Though I was using some very, very old .NET today. Let's just say, came across some unique problems where I needed to... Why did it just add that in? No, escape, thank you. Oh no, it was always there. Oh, yeah, I need to add that in. Yeah, I just... Some old .NET, which was not fun for me. .NET 3.5. So not .NET Core. Oh, I need the wiki. Yeah. 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 Yeah, let's just say things are definitely done different in .NET Core, and it's just me trying to figure out how that language sort of connects up together and how that project sort of connects up together. It doesn't follow the usual patterns that my work does at the moment. So yeah, it's a skill issue. Happy to say it's that. But yeah, it's kind of hard. All right, so in here, yep, all right, we just need to go back into here. We just need to rename this to that then, and that's how we've got that set up now. Talking about patterns, yeah, we've changed this pattern slightly. All right, cool. So if I hit refresh, it should... Oh, I need the / on here. There we go. Method get not allowed. All right, that's fine for the moment. We should have been hitting that one. Just double checking my other one. So login, we've got post. I have not set it up. All right, cool. Got that all connected now. Sounds like a good use case for AI. Let's figure out. I mean, it's old enough that there is potentially it has indexed quite a lot of all that old source code and stuff like that. So yeah, getting it to figure out what I should be using would potentially be good. But yeah, in the end, I've just got to do one thing with this, and I'm hoping we can upgrade the site later. So yeah. All right, we've got the get. We've got all of this. So I'm happy with that. Let's get started. So get method to retrieve a list of user permissions associated with the user. Easy done. What we're going to do, and I keep hitting F1 and it pisses me off. And then, all right. What we're going to do is we're going to send back all of this user's permissions, followed by a couple of other fields that we need. We won't need the username whatsoever. That's fine because we're only going to show that logged in user's details. Makes sense. So I'm just trying to think what table I can base this off. Probably the permission set table. But at the same time, I think the Python RRM won't let me do it like that, which is fine. We'll just jump over to here. We'll go source. We'll jump into an environment. We'll go Python 3 manage. I can't type. Let's go in with the shell. We're going to go from NearBeach.models, import just everything. I don't care. Let's go a equals permission set dot objects dot filter. Yeah, it won't because this isn't connected tissue. This is just the end. This is just the data. What I need to do is I'm going to go a equals. I'm just going to go over here. This particular table here, the user group. This table connects up the user, group ID, and permission set all into one. So if I go over here, and we can start typing in results equals user group dot objects dot filter straight away is deleted equals files. We'll need to actually go user equals request.user and double check the particular field in here. Username ID. So I just need username. All right. So that will get all the current user group stuff. From NearBeach.models import. We're not importing everything, we're importing user group. We're importing it in group because I'll need the group name. No, I won't. Now other items that I'll need is I'll need that, and I'll need permission set is deleted equals false. So this connected tissue, what this is actually doing is this will connect to both the group table and the permission set table. And I can pull out every single value that I need in here to send to the front end. We'll still need to create a serializer for this. That's easy. That's going to take me a couple of seconds to do. Yeah. I just now need to do the values and distinct it. Yeah. Cool. Oops. I'm going to use an aggregate in this sort of case, and I've closed the models, didn't I? All right, give me a couple of seconds. Permission sets, and group. I'm just opening up. We're going to place that off to the right. You guys don't need to worry about that. I'm actually just referencing the field names exactly on there. I don't think I need to send the name to the front end, the permission name or anything like that. I think I just need to send the values. And it's probably going to kick me later on. Actually, no, I need to send the administration stuff. And the reason being is that the user will need the front system to know what the user can't do. So I'm missing out on the ID, and I'm going to miss out on the name, which is fine. I'm just wondering if, give me 2 seconds. I keep forgetting if I need those in, no, I don't. I don't need those in quotes. All right, cool. That is going to equal the permission set under, and it's going to be like that. So what I'm doing, and Hansel Dev, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I'm doing good, thank you very much. I'm just having a good think before I start doing all this aggregate stuff. So what I'm doing here is I've essentially got a really long field name that I don't want to send to the front end as a really long field name. I just want to actually shrink it down and just include this. Now there's 2 ways that I can actually do this. One, I can do this and then somehow connect it into the projects, into the permission set, but I still need the group information. So I need to actually do it with this table. Yeah, all right, cool. Just needed to think that out aloud. I'm going to go group ID equals, and that is just going to be group under ID. I'm going to call the group name also like that. I do apologize. I just need to go to the bathroom very, very quickly. I will be right back. I won't be long. All right, I do apologize about that. Let's get back into it. Yes, sorry. That's great. I'm also working on a project. Oh, cool. That's good, hands dev. I finished React, including some advanced topics, which are helping me in each step while building the project, which is an e-commerce site. Nice. And the code guy, how are you going? Sorry, I just need to run off to the bathroom very, very quickly. I do apologize about that. I'm just confused about a point that I should add in the dashboard, which, you know, is a bit of hard WRT logic. I mean, I'm tired of thinking it can give me advice, help me. I'm confused about a point that I should add. The dashboard, which is, you know, a bit hard with... I'm terrible with acronyms. I don't know what a WRT stands for. Yeah. Hey, Socks, what are you doing? All right. I'm just going to jump straight back into this. So we'll have the group ID, group name. Yeah, we'll definitely have the group names in there. We'll have the administration assigned. All right, cool. So, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I'm just going down this list, aren't I? Oh my god, that thing. Admin, illustration, create group. It'll be like that. And then administration, create permission set, which will be that, hopefully, if this, actually the AI is smart enough. It hasn't been lately. Administration, create user. That will be customer equals, yep, it's not smart enough. Permission set, definitely not smart enough at all. Kanban board equals permission set Kanban board. There we go. It's picking it up. Organization. Yep, there we go. Do project equals set project. Easy done. Request for change equals permission set request for change. Requirement. Yep, all right. This is a bit boring doing this, I understand, but I'd rather do it here. Permission scheduled object, sprint equals permission set sprint, and then we've got task, it's permission set task, and then tag equals permission set tag. We do need to send all of these permissions to the front end. They are going to be used by the front end. And we've got document, then Kanban note. Project note. Oops, sorry, task note. Requirement note. Now I have a coworker. Socks ignores most of my coworkers. But every now and then, this coworker will be having a little discussion and stuff like that, and Socks will be there just meowing at them. Like, she will respond to them after they finish talking. Other coworkers, she doesn't. I don't know what it is. She just does it to this one coworker. Requirement item note, organization note. I think that's it with the permissions. We won't need the user. We will definitely need the group name and IDs. Because, yeah, I'll need that data. All of these, we will eventually need all of this data in the front end to help either turn things on and off. All right, I've just got to think of the front end. So the minimum permissions, we can definitely grab from that data. We can definitely set those up in here. All All right, I just need the serializers now. So if I minimize that, open up that, we've got user. We don't have anything under user, and what we need is we need permissions. All right, so this will be from the REST framework. Import serializers, easy done. We'll have a class, and this will be permission serializer, model serializer. Actually, this won't be a model serializer. And the code guy, what's up? How are you? Hopefully you're going well. I think I said hello before. Sorry, I needed to run off to the bathroom. And essentially we'll have all of these fields in there. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to order these. All right, that's fine. Customer, yep. Group, yep. Board, element, OP, yep. QR, request for change, requirement scheduled, sprint tasks, tag, yep. All right, cool. Document. Requirement note. Requirement item note. Organization note. What's the matter, Socks? Give me 2 seconds. She just wants the cupboard door open for no apparent reason. All right. Also talking about cats. The rare sighting of Max. All right, so let's create the serializers. We're just going to do that. Easy done. There is vim delete word. DI or DW? Alright, cool. Easy done. What we want to do is this will be serializers dot integer field. We will have a min value of 0 and a max value of 4 and a default value of 0. And that's it. All right, so I'm also got to think about the other bit of the CRUD. So currently we're just doing the read. So people are pasting things into here. It'll be all of that. I don't think I need the default. Maybe required false. I won't worry about that at the moment. We're just going to do that like that. And then I just need serializers and just a field. We'll come back to actually implementing that in a bit. And that will be serializers dot integer field. We'll do something like that, and then and then fill this out. All of these. Oh, why Why am I doing that the quick way? All of these will as far as I know, should be integer fields. Yeah, they're integer fields. All right, cool. So I'm just quickly doing this. Because I just want to get this done very, very quickly. This is very, very simple. We don't need to think about the serializer just yet. If I go up to the top and I yank those two lines, I can just, oops. I can do this. Get this done very, very quickly. Look at that. No one's expecting that. All right, the cats are gone. All right, cool. Back to me. There's a lot of fields in this. Understandable, because there's a lot of touch points in NearBeach that need permissions added on it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's just the basic sort of thing. All of this will be 0 to 4, except a couple of them. So some of them will be permission booleans. So that's fine. That's 4. That's 4. That's 4. That's 4. Documentation. That's 4. Group ID, group name, Kanban board, organization, organization notes is actually a 2. It's actually 1. Sorry, this is a boolean. Project request for change. Don't we have project notes? I thought I organized these. Sorry. Easy done, not a problem. Request for change, requirement item notes. We'll just do that. Requirement note, we'll just do that. We've got scheduled object, yeah, that's that. Sprint, yep, task tag, notes, that's once again going down to a 1, and task note is a 1. All right, cool, easy done. That's all we need for that one. So we've got the results, we've got this. This is going to be very, very easy now. Now we're going to go serialize results. So we've got the serializer equals permission serializer. We'll have data equals results, sorry, and many equals true. And then we get rid of those, and then we just return results to user. What we want to do is we'll have data equals serialized data, and that's just going to be a success. And that's it. Yeah, this is a very simple sort of fetch. All we're doing is we're just fetching all this data. It looks like a lot of work, but in reality, we're just renaming the field so we don't need to worry about it in the front end, and that way it makes sense in the front end. Oh, we forgot group ID and group name. Oh, why didn't I just copy this? I don't know why I didn't. Did I copy that? Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry, yeah. This is where I could potentially send group information along with this. And actually serialize the group information. Because that does kind of make some sense. But at the other side of things, this is really more of a flat back type of situation. So I'm just having I'm just racking everything in my brain, being like, all right, cool. Do I need to actually send all of this information? Part of me is saying yes, which is a bit annoying. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to then remove that from there. So we've still got the group ID, but the group ID will be something else. And in fact, it this is where we need all of this down there. Oh, it's just gonna be easier if I go admin administration or something. Oh no, that's gonna piss me off. Oops. I'll fix this up in a second. Once again, this looks like a lot of work, but in reality, this is very, very simple. We're just telling it, hey, we want these aggregate fields in there and nothing else. That's all. All right. Okay, let's just do this. Oops. No. Double quotes. Let's be consistent. Oh, fuck off. Hey, I know I had shit down that time. Alright. Oops. And then we just need group. And then this is going to be like oh, don't say it wants me to have the administration assigned user to group. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought it was just that. All right, let's move up very, very quickly. We've got all of that. And then what I want in here is the group ID. Then we need the group serializations in here. So that will be just group serializer. Like so. We've done this before when we're dealing with a lot of the primary keys and so forth like that. So a good example is if I actually run over into here. Let's go into serializers. Let's go into project serializer, you'll notice that there's project status serializer. If we go down to the status, we've got the serializer in there, and we'll add many and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have to do that with the group, and very similar, we'll just do something like that. Cost effective and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we've actually got group serializer already. We've got ID, name, and parent group, which is perfect. So I am definitely going to import this. Import that. So we have many equals false. I'm just double checking with the statuses up in here. Read only is false, allow nulls false. All right, so yeah, those are read only false, allows null equals false. Always gets that wrong. All right, so that will give us some structure to this. Let's test it. Let's see if anything goes wrong. Non-expressions. All right. Let's test that out. Let's go A equals user groups dot objects dot get pk equals. Actually no. Let's go filter aggregate, and I'm just gonna go hello. Hello equals, and then we're going to go permission set under customer. Oh yeah, I did mean user group. Oh, all right. I think I know what I've missed. From Django.database import F. No. All right. I think I'm missing the F. That F. That's where I need to go. From Django.database.models import F. I think. From Django.database.models import F. All right, cool. And then what I want to do is I want to put a little F in there. No. All right, give me 2 seconds. Django RRM rename fields. MX. Oh. I've been doing this. All right. No, I've done this around the wrong way. All right. No problem. Let's test it out. So that should be values. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, we need to actually wrap that in a function call, and then there we go. All right, cool. I've done this wrong. Sorry, I thought it was part of the aggregate. It is not part of the aggregate. It is actually part of the values, which means then I do need to get group into here, like so. I need to get rid of all of this. Easy done. We'll just get rid of it like that. And I need to put these in like this. So we're getting there slowly. All right, we're going to go F that. F that. Now, I am terribly sorry again. I do need to go to the bathroom again. I do apologize. I will be right back. Minutes. Sorry about that again. Oh, just not feeling well. I say Shift V, select all that, and then do all right. I am going to try my hardest. All right. You're saying Shift V. All of that, like all of that. And colon S / equals / equals F that. Thank you very much, Hungry Hippo. I do need to learn a lot more of the Vim bindings, especially for stuff like that. That is awesome. All right, cool. So that is so I'm just trying to think of this. This should be just group. I can Vim better than I can program. Fair enough. I do enjoy Vim. I've definitely warmed up to it. But yeah, I need to push myself to learn all the other shortcuts and so forth like that. I'm finally doing stuff where I can go to the bottom and go to the top very, very quickly. I'm finally doing like skipping down lines like that. So yeah, now I'm just gonna double check with the Django stuff. So Django ORM values. We want to go down to here. And the values, yeah, they've got them in something like that. So if I do something like that, that should work. In theory. And then we've got something like that. Used NVim for years, but started to favor more IntelliJ or VS with Vim mode. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I think I'm going I'm headed towards the new Vim side of things. I've just got to start using it. The real reason being is I have an old M1 MacBook. I upgraded it. I've had issues where, especially when the newest Mac OS first came out, it was really slow. Absolutely horrible. Like, there were so many problems with that Mac. I refuse to actually update it on my work Mac at the moment, just because I know it's going to cause that many issues. So I'm kind of leaning on using NearVim and also removing quite a lot of the AI sort of stuff. You'll see me actually start turning off AI in the IntelliJ, just because a lot of the times it just isn't correct, and I've had problems with it. All right, I'm gonna hit that again. Yeah, it doesn't like it. I'm just gonna go group equals F group. I'm hoping for the best. All right, cannot resolve keyword. Administrator assigned user to field choices. Administrator assigned user. All right, that's a typo on my behalf. I think I typed that one out. I know when I'm a bad typer. Yeah, I actually completely and utterly turned off the AI one, not the autofill and stuff like that, which I will do next. I noticed when playing around in Rider that it started changing code that wasn't on the screen, which is a big no-no for me. It started inserting code that A, didn't work, and B, it then flagged as a problem. So, yeah. Documentation, that was meant to be document. Now, I don't know if that was an auto one. Yeah, it's meant to be document. Alright, now I'm just fixing up my mistakes. Annotation group conflicts with the field on the model. Now, freaking thought so. If I just get rid of that, and we just hit refresh again. When serializers pass, a data keyword is called invalid. Oh my god. Expected a list of items, but got a query set. All right.
Just wondering where I've done this. Let's have a look over here. Oh, this is the serializer. Sorry. I was meant to actually go to the API stuff. Project API. So we've got the create, we've got the destroy, we've got the list. So we get all of that. We get the project results. We pass all of that through. Yep, we're all happy with all of that. We do add pagination in here. But that should work. Yes. Oh, hold on. Expected a list of items, but got type query set. I know, we've done this before. I've solved this before. It's because I've got dot values in it. But I do have many equals true. If you have many equals true in the view, when you pass the data into the serializer, but you are in fact only sending a single message. And hey, how are you, S4K? How are you going? Yeah, it's not great. I've tried using it. It doesn't seem to even read the source. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, if I wasn't doing stuff in .NET or Java, I probably wouldn't even use JetBrains. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. There are so many small issues that bother me. Fair enough. Fair enough. Like not being able to stage specific get lines unless you use the change list mode. Yep. Fully understand. Fully understand. Reasonably complex, hence I want to share my solution. I have a dictionary of items, each are unique. I want to put Then I create a Django REST serializer class object. I do have many equals true. Yes. Alright, hang on. Django serialize query set JSON. Alright, this is where we go down here. We don't want to... I mean, that is a possibility, but if we got the serializers... There you go, Django's built-in serializers, we want to use that. So some models, object all, serialize. Serialize. You know, they're saying JSON as QS. I mean, that could potentially work. Does mean that I've just did a serializer that we're not going to be using, which is, it does piss me off a little, but oh well. All right. So it doesn't like that. I'm just going to put a breakpoint there. I'm going to double check that it fails on that line. We're just going to hit refresh. We've hit this. All right. So we click on this. We're going error message. This list may not be empty. Max length. Ensure blah 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 blah. Cool. That's it. Yeah, it fails there. All right. want JSON, and then we want results like that. And then I need to go up here and I need to go from Django.core import serializers. There we go, I can finally type. Now it's going to have a problem that we need to put into a list. So if we actually go back into here. So they're doing it there with JSON results. That's a yeah. I guess we're gonna have to. Okay, no problem. All right. What I want to do is spell correctly. So we're going to have data equals. Now they're going to change theirs like that. So we go list results. And then we return JSON response. Data safe equals false, status equals that. We've just got to import this. I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to hover over this and do the little thing and go, yeah, import that. We're just going to delete that. I'm going to keep this in a sort of format like that. I'm going to hope for the best. There you go. But we don't have group in there, which is noise the bejeevers out of me. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't like group. Because I need it up here. All right, I've done something wrong with the values. Oh. Is that it? That's all I needed? Yeah, all right. I don't like that. Sorry, I'm just giving a little thought. I don't like it flat packed out like that. I kind of want NearBeach to be consistent in the sense that if we've got a foreign key, it shows up here as a foreign key. Alright, let's play around with this where it's just this last part which I'm not happy with. Alright, let's have a look. So we've got meta book la la, book objects all. Yeah, that's what we want. So Serializer equals permission. Serializer, we've got the results. We've got many equals true. That should be fine. I'm going to put a breakpoint here on data. I'm just going to see what actually happens. I'm going to hit refresh. We hit that point where I'm just going to hover over serializer. I'm going to open it up. Error message. Empty list. This list may not be empty. Max length. Make sure to alert. Max length. All right. Cool. We do have a query set. And yeah, usually when I'm just going to do that. We're going to import response. Oh, that goes up here somewhere. Oh god, where does it go? No, not there. Sorry, there. Alright, I'm just going to go over here. We're just going to... kernel call is valid as data equals keyword argument was passed. I've never come across this before. When you want to serialize objects, you pass an object as the first argument. Yep. But when you want to deserialize it, you pass the data with... Alright, we got here. It didn't serialize correctly. But I think I'm onto something. Oh, I've got key error. I'm attempting to get a value for field on serializer. The serializer might be named incorrectly and does not match the original. All right. Assigned user to group. That might be me. That might, yeah, that's definitely me. That's all right. Cool. This is an issue that I had. All right. I think I know what I did wrong before. I think I typed in data equals and I didn't need the data equals. So in this sort of case, what we want to do we're all happy with that. We need to fix the serializer. So there's a couple of fields in here that that ain't working. So I'm going to copy that one. We're going to go over into the serializer. We're going to scroll up here. We're just going to paste that over. There you go. There's my spelling mistake. Another one is documentation. It's meant to be document. And the serializer field may be named incorrectly. Bachelor group. All right. We've got group ID. We've got group ID. The serializer field may be named incorrectly, not matching attribute or key instance. Ordinal except test was int, and the object has no attribute name. All right. All right, we're getting somewhere. Got a key error. Went to that. Now, I'm just going to do group. Got an attribute error when attempting to get the field name via the serializer field might be named incorrectly and does not match the int instance. All right. Now I know what the problem is. This data is essentially just getting that field. It's not getting it as a an object or a foreign key. So if I put a breakpoint there, let's go over here. Let's hit refresh. So here we are. If we hover over results, you'll notice that we go view. We do have groups and all that kind of stuff, but it's probably not holding the group data within there. All right. We're gonna have to do some specific Googling. So Django, Django REST framework. What am I trying to say? Query set with foreign key. In Django REST framework, you work with foreign keys within query set. You could, yep, all right, cool. Yep, we understand that. Inside values. Yeah, and then it comes out like that, where prior is the priority ID. Yep, we all know that. Something's ringing in my head that I've solved this before. And I don't want to do it like this. Okay. Which is what we want. And all of that set up in there, and this is what we're doing. Alright, permission serializer, we've got the group serializer, allow null, many equals false. I'm just going to remove that for the moment. We're just going to keep it as simple like that. Sorry. We've got the group serializer. And here, it is connected with the group. Alright. I think the problem is group ID should be passing through as the group. Yeah, it should be passing that through. If we got the serializer, I'm just going to put group ID back in into here. The permissions, I just want the group underscore ID like that. We're all happy. Gonna have to hit refresh. That's the thing. The int object has no attribute name. And something's ringing a bell in my head being like, I'm meant to actually fetch that data. I think I'm spending too long on this at the moment to get this to work. considering I can just use the ID in the name. I'm just going to do that.
We're removing that. We're going to go serializers dot integer field, easy done. Group name equals serializers character field. We're just going to do that for the moment. That's perfectly fine. We've got the group ID. Want the group name like that. And then when we hit refresh, sorry, that is actually meant to be group name equals F, and that's going to be group under like that.
Isn't that right, socks? Should I? Yes. Stop patting me.
Name. So I'm so used to the old database structure. Yeah, it's just name. There we go. We're down there, and then we'll just go play, and then Bob's your uncle. There we go.
So, I don't like the fact that I have to do this. I kind of wanted group and then have a something slightly different. So if I'll show you what I mean. In here, you've got organization. Notice how you can break those down and see all the different sort of information that they're being connected to and all that kind of stuff. That's what I kind of wanted to do. But at the moment, this is fine. I'm going to say, cool, let's get the front end sort of connected up. I can research this a little bit more later on, and then get it set up like that, so that will work. But at the moment, my main concern is getting the permissions to the front end. So I think that is all set up for the API. That took a lot longer than I wanted it to. We want to go and close all tabs in this. Close up the tabs. Close. Okay, just close everything. Jesus. Hello? Sorry, more bugs. We want to go into source, components. Actually, no, not components, sorry. We want to go into source, we want the stores, we want permissions, and then we've got the permission. So I'm happy with this setup at the moment, but we need actions in here. All right, and what this will do is fetch user permissions.
All permission data. And this is where I'm going back to the PNR and I'm having a look at this. Oh, async. So I've got a bit of async. We've got register users. All right, cool. We don't need the function in there. We just got that. Yep, and then we've got that. And then let's actually use Axios. So, you know, they're definitely doing some try, add code, catch, error, add code. All right, cool. Yeah, we need to... We need to start writing it out our error handling. So in 0.31 with NearBeach, we just had toasts pop up, which we could potentially do. If we go to get bootstrap, toasts. So yeah, we just had little toast pop up. As you can see, one popped up down here. We can do that again. Yeah.
Though we can actually make toast pop up wherever we want. I might put them up at the top of the screen this time. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get back into things. I just realized I'm washing myself in there, really. I should put that on someone else. Alright. Okay, so we need Axios in here. Now, what we've done in the past... Actually, I know we did this somewhere.
We did this for the login page and stuff like that. So let me just go to the login page. Let's go login page. We need to do this. So we're going to go up here. We're going to import the type. We're going to do injection. Const API client equals, now actually that's going to be an Axios instance where or undefined, where we're injecting the API client. Like that. No, I don't need to import that. All right, we've just hit another ad break. I'm going to judge Socks in her cleaning ability. There she is. She's like, what? What am I doing? For those on YouTube wondering what's actually happening, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. We do this so no one misses out on any content. Isn't that right, Socks? Socks? So yes. She's like, no, I'm not going to speak to you now.
Highly embarrassing. Putting me front and center. Don't look at me. You like the being the starlight. Yeah. Go over here. Look, Socks. Oh, there we go. Yeah. 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 Anyway, we are less than 30 seconds left, and then we'll jump back into it. So, from this particular point, yeah, I just want to get everything set up on the front end, so we could just keep plowing ahead. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, we've got about 5 seconds left. Once I get the permissions done, I'll update Welk, we'll get the new project page sorted, and we'll get the nav bar and all that kind of stuff sorted. So in here, we've got this injected. Down here, what we're going to do is we are going to... And that reminds me, I should actually write in a couple of tasks for those errors. Definition of done. Database, front end. This is actually going to be a highest one. Creation of the error alerts. User will need to be notified when there is an error. Alright, cool. That will actually happen a lot sooner rather than later. Sorry, I'm just putting that on. I've just put the alert stuff on here. Cool. So, what we want to do, we've got to try. We don't need to send any data there whatsoever. There goes Socks. Yeah, it's for you. It's you. What we need to do is API client. We've got a just a simple get, because it is a simple get. Max, you're touching the mouse. This will be API version 1 permissions. And that's it. And then we've got to then we will have a response. I will then add code in. And then all right, and then catch will have an error. We'll just have a console log error, but at the moment we'll do a to-do, implement the error method, easy done. With the error methods, what will actually happen is we'll have a bunch of messages and so forth like that to be like, hey, this didn't work. As for the add code, now I don't know if this has methods. It does. Because I don't want to put everything within here. I just want to be able to, all right, cool, set it. So I'm going to go, all right, cool, dot the permission data equals the response dot data. That's pretty stock standard sort of stuff. That will be the state, $state. Permission data is all of that. I kind of want to run a couple of methods in here, so that way this is very light. And then so I'm gonna have a look at this. Oh, I don't know what I clicked. All right, cool. I clicked something random and it just opened up. There is a whole ad here that's invisible. Add down here. What the hell? That's better. So Pinia method, type method, args any, generic type for function. All right. Not what I wanted. Oh, that's part of that. I'm just gonna go to menu, get started. We've got the state, we've got the getters, we've got the actions, and the thing is, the action, I don't want it too large. That's why. Plugins, Pinio can be fully extended thanks to here's what you can do. Add new property store, add new options, add new methods to stores. That's kind of what I want to do. Chill hop music, can you please start working? Yes. All right. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Sorry, I've listened to that soundtrack so often. I just need something new. Yeah, the idea is I don't want another action in there. Anyway, PNR, private function methods. Alright, that's kind of what I want. So we've got an action, and then we've got the private helper method, and then public action. Okay, cool. All right, a method intended to be private. All right, so they're kind of all right. Private help method, console, this is a help method. All right, cool. Public action. All right, I'll just do this way, easier. Find min and num permissions. Cool, we'll do that. Async. Actually, I don't think these are async. These won't be async. All right. Oh, that will be a set. Current objects we don't need to worry about at all. That's stock standard sort of stuff. I'm getting rid of this because we don't need it. So this is private. So when I get this, I just need to set this and this. I don't need to worry about the current object. That will be done elsewhere. We have socks right here. She's like, what? How's the camera? There we go. All right, cool. So yeah, we just need to set the minimum. For that. And get minimum field value. There'll be a string. Add code. That way I don't need to repeat stuff over and 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 over again. Alright, so up here what we want to do is we've got the data, we set it, and then we go this underscore set minimum permissions. I'm going to say that doesn't need a wait, does it? No. New property does not exist on type. Also, that should be returning a number like that. All right. And that should be void. I'm just gonna go does oh no. Alright, give me a couple of seconds. Call other actions from an action. This dot post dot push dot post. Add posts. This dot add post post. Yep. All right. Yeah, I should get rid of that. I should get rid of that too. Okay, it's because I had an error somewhere else. That's why that was screwing up. So in here, what we've got to do is we've got to go through each one of these key fields and not those particular ones, sorry. These particular key fields up here. It's just going to be a giant loop. It's just going to go, all right, cool, get all the key values out of here. We're going to update all of them reading from the permission data sets. So in here, we've got this. I'm just thinking what will be the easiest way of, to do this. It's probably easier just to do it all in one big giant hit. So what I want to do, and I think I'm going to go let new minimum permissions. Equals this at the moment. All right, it's just a blank object. Actually, no, I don't want it as a blank. No. This $store dot minimum permissions. So we'll copy it. I probably need getters. Yeah. That's pretty much it. In fact, I can then get that'll be current object permissions. Permission data. Socks. We're on camera. Oh, Max. Let's do this again. Okay, cool. So that's set. What I need to do is I need to loop through each one of those keys. So that will be, this is where I've got to look this up, JavaScript loop through object keys. There is a way to do this. So object entries, constant entries.object, that'll be a, yeah, okay, cool. That's what we want. So set a mutatable value. All right, cool. Loop through all the keys. and update. All right, cool. So that's going to be for const. We just need a key. And that will be new minimum permissions. So yeah, it's slightly different to what we just copied, but yeah, it's fine. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to... We also need the index too. Hang on. I'm No, I'll need this. No, wait. Sorry, I'm overly complicating everything at the moment. All right. I just need the key. That's it. All right, I just need the key. So, with the key, what we're doing is we're looping through each one of those, which will be perfectly fine. We probably don't need the new minimum permission. In fact, we just need to go this in here, and then we just mutate this directly instead of creating something and then passing it through. Overly complicated things. Let's simplify it down. Oops, I forgot I don't have chat on. There we go. So what I want to do from here is I want to go and get the new value. So I'm just going to go var a equals, and then it'll be this underscore get minimum field value, and we're passing through a key. In this sort of case, that will return a response back. We can actually mutate something directly, so we can go minimum and then we can pass through the key. So the idea being is if we're on Kanban board, we should find this key back again and update it. Yeah, all those are meant to be numbers. Element explicitly has this is a number. Yeah, that's a string. All right. Yeah, no. Sorry, my brain is just decided to go off on its own tangent. JavaScript object. So we've got, let's say, a var a equals, and then we've got a, B, D, and so forth like that. And then if we go A, we get an object. If we go A dot A, we've got that. A dot B, we've got that. But if I got C equals A, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just going to, I hate when I do that. Element implicitly has an any type because expression of type string can't be used to index type. Filter, plot options, when the type of the object is unknown, when the type of the object is not known. Probably gonna, yeah, all right. Give me a few seconds. I am going to do an interface. This would be interface, yep. And this will be minimum permissions interface. Easy done. And then we'll just copy all of this. Lint everything. Ooh. Now that's meant to, yeah, that's meant to be like that. All right. Now I'm gonna try what happened before. Let's go. Shift V all of that, and then colon. Space 0 space as no. All right, I don't know how to do that yet, but that's fine. All right, perfect. Then I can just get rid of this. So there's just a lot more work to do whenever you implement TypeScript. Understandable. I'm still learning all of that. That will be as that. Oh, that's so annoying. I'm gonna say get rid of the loop. And yo, Wretch, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I'll actually need to put the interface interface stuff somewhere else. Oh, I'm just going to it's going to do that crappy stuff. All right, not a problem. We're just going to fucking escape work. Going to do that. What we're going to do is we're going to go we're doing that. How much progress have you made? Well, 0.31's out, and that's a minimum viable product, essentially. Well, it's actually not a minimum viable product. Sorry, it is actually a product that is working and stuff like that. So I'm just readjusting the webcam and all that kind of fun stuff. We're currently refactoring everything. We're implementing better API. We're getting rid of all our technical debt and so forth like that. We're bringing it up into better sort of standards. We're fixing a bunch of things. It's, for example, VueJS. We're replacing that with Pidiar, which is what I'm doing right now. We're redoing all the permissions and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah. I'm hoping to have projects out soon, TM type of thing, because once that one's done, the others should follow fairly quickly, because I would have everything sort of locked down for projects. Is it on GitHub? Can we contribute to it? Yes, it is on GitHub. I don't know how long it'll take Lightbot to boot back up. But yeah, GitHub will eventually paste. There it is. So yeah, it's pretty simple to install if you know Docker. And we've just had 0.31 looks old too. So yeah, hence we're doing all this. It's going to look a lot nicer and feel a lot better. So yeah. Alright, welcome back everyone. We're finished the ad break. So what I want to do now is this is just going to go equal this underscore get minimum field value. And the field value would be the Kanban board. I was hoping to do this in a loop, but sometimes you just gotta go, nah, screw it, this is fine. There's not too many things here. It's on the edge of it. Up here, we've now got to get that field. So this is where we want to get the minimum. So if we have a look at JavaScript, min value of field in array of objects, which is the reduce. All right, it's good for stuff like performing aggregate options like min on an array and return a single result. All right. So, straight off the bat, I need to see if the user has any permissions. If permission, list.permission data dot length equals 0,
Oh, sorry, been doing a lot of .NET tonight. We just return 0. Straight away. That's it. Cheers, thank you. Yeah, it's an open source project management system. Writing it so people could use it to help, themselves manage their own projects and so forth like that. We actually do use NearBeach to actually build NearBeach. So here's the Kanban board functionality of NearBeach. I don't know why I opened up that thing. So you can see there's a lot of cards and stuff that we want to actually do in here. I can't actually share the other sort of pages just because I've got customer pages in there, but we've got other Kanban board functionalities in there too. For example, the API. I'm currently doing the quality assurance on the project side of things. I've got to add in all the other API points in here very, very shortly, but there's other sort of tasks that we want to also implement, like OAuth. We're quality assuring all of those at the moment. We've completed some of those. I can archive those. That's perfectly fine. Yeah. And I do have like other projects, tasks, requirements and requirement items. So when you're actually gathering user stories, or we call them requirements, requirement items, you can break them down into small little objects and keep track of them. So yeah. And we also built in a request for change, which where yeah, it'll be interesting to get that back in. Oh, it's in there. It's, yeah, just we don't use it as much. All right, permission length, return 0. All right, so now we've got something in here. Now we just need that reduce functionality. So previous cost, current cost. All right, cool. Actually, we want the max. We don't want the min. Yeah, I know I'm doing this slow. There's a Vim shortcut which I could probably do, and once again, I've got to learn how Vim works properly. So we actually want the max in there. We're just going to grab that. Okay, yep. Cheers, thank you very much, Wrench. Can't believe I'm 6:15 so far. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just finding out the best way of doing this. The reduce functionality looks good, but we've also got this too. Alright, I'm just going to open up this. We've got the array prototype this. So JavaScript demo, array reduce. So array, we've got the array, we've got initial values, some with initial, reduce, accumulate, Alright, cool. So if we run that, that's greater than 10, so 3, 6, yeah, that's 10. Reduce, yep. We've got to get max. So const get max equals that math. How reduce works without initial values. All right, we've got an array, we've got a function reducer, accumulate, all that kind of stuff. Const returns accumulator plus current value. Oh, that's what the accumulator. We want the min and max, don't we?
Damn. All right. I'm just going to play around with this. All right, this will be this dot permission data dot reduce. So we've got the previous, we've got the current. We want to return the dot. That will actually be the field. And then the field. So if the previous field is less than the current field, we're going to return the previous. And then, all right, cool. So what I need to do is I need to switch that. All right, and then what I want to do is I just want to return that. Cool. Reduce the function to get the maximum. This should be then called maximum permissions. I've just realized that. There we go. Oh, this one's going to be easy. We just go. Easy done. All right. Okay. So yeah, that reduce functionality. So you got the previous, you got the current. All right, cool. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, we've got the set maximum. We've got all of that. Now, what we've got to do is when the application boots up, we need to actually get this data and we need to populate this. So what we've actually then got to do, let's minimize that. Let's open up that. Let's open up NearBeach. Let's open up the sorry, I'm just drawing a blank at the moment. Let's open up the components. So source components, we want, this is actually part of the pages. Yeah, this is part of pages. Sorry, pages app. So this is the main sort of page on mounted. If no, yep. All right, cool. We're going to get the user data. We don't need to worry about it holding up or anything. We can tell the system, this is where I need to go into JavaScript, async, not to await. Async function,
All right, let's not worry about it. This will be, and this is where we've got to use the nav store. Oh, this is also where we'll be going const. I really need a new keyboard. This is permission store equals use permission store. We've imported that up there. Yep. All right. Cool. Permission store dot fetch permission data. And that should be it. What's the matter, Socks? No, you're over there. You go violent with Max before. You like on being like, psh, 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 get out of my bed, bitch. Psh, psh, psh. All right, let's see what is going to happen. Here's our local host. I'm just going to move that off to over here. We're just going to reload everything. I don't know if it hit the API. Give me 2 seconds. Let's have a... Oh, I just need to click on this. It only searched. Yeah, am I... Yeah, I'm building. Let's have a look at the pinner. Let's have a look at the permissions. I've got no permission data. It's a bit disappointing. Because that should... Oh my god, with the N key not working. Sorry, it's driving me nuts. I don't want to await this. I actually... Because the thing is, it can still do the other things in here. For example, top of the menu and stuff like that. Before the user gets their permissions and so forth like that. But then again, I could run this at the very, very end. This is only going to take, what, a millisecond if. Alright, let's hit refresh. No, it's not doing that. Let's, got here. Hang on, Pinia actions. Let's actually double check I'm doing this correctly. So with the actions, we've got this, we've got the increment. All right, cool. Store.randomize. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. All right, I'm just going to hit refresh. We do have a got here. I'm just going to go into this implementation. We've got to try, we don't have any errors. I'm just going to go console log. Actually, console error. Yeah, we're going to show the error. We are going to do to-do implement error notifications. That's going to happen next stream. I do need to actually do the toasts. For that, I'm going to refresh. We've got a got here. I'm going to get rid of that got here. And instead, I'm going to put it in here. And then I'm going to put that in here. Got here with data. We're just going to hit refresh. We've got the got here. It's just not calling the permissions. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's permissions.typescript. Alright, not to worry. Alright. Now we are using
another thing we could potentially do is feed through the data analytic, but no, I want to keep this consolidated within this store. The reason why I want to consolidate it in the store is so if I need to actually call it anywhere else, I can. Like I might have a refresh permission somewhere, or refresh permission somewhere. I don't know why it's not getting the API client. So what I'm going to do, console log API client. We are just going to go API clients like that. I'm just going to go over here. We're going to have a look at the console. I'm just going to hit refresh. API client, undefined. All right. I'm trying to remember where else. Search. I implemented something in search the other day. Let's actually have a look. That's way too high. That's the search. Use search store. No, I want the Axios stuff. Be search filter. I keep clicking on the wrong thing. Declaration or usage. Use search store. Yeah, we've got that. All right. Where's our search? There. All right. Linear inject Axios. I don't want to import it like this. The reason being is at the app level, I've actually set up a bunch of stuff that will handle all the logins and all that kind of fun stuff. Which is why I don't want to do it. If I can inject it straight into there, that would be good. Now, the thing is, API client, I'm using it here. It works for the search, just not for the pinnea. So if I go back down into permissions, yeah, that's the same thing. We don't have an inject. No, all right. You inject. Not working. All right. Here we go. I'll pump that off to the other side. So I'm trying to implement Vue gates from GitHub. Blah, blah, blah. Inject from Vue is not given the instant. Throws undefined whenever I inject it. Right. The app works fine. Wondering if anyone knows this is happening. So yada yada yada. Inject. They're doing some sort of inject somewhere. Blah, blah. Please read provide inject. Yep. Provide inject, which is what we're doing at the root, and then we're picking it up elsewhere. So provide. So if we go into the app setup, you'll see in not that level. Sorry, even higher. Sorry, I've just got to... here it is. So in here, this is what I'm doing with the Axios instance, is I'm passing through the CFR token and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm doing that up at the highest level possible. I'm then providing the API client everywhere. And I'm just wondering, what if I wait for a tick? I'm curious.
I'm just really curious now. If we go back to the app filter, we go down here. Let's go next tick. And we go await, permission, store, fetch permissions. I just want to see what actually happens. And then we just go console log, next tick. And now I do need to import this. That's just that. It's just the next tick. There we go from the view. That will be async. Now, I'm just going to refresh. Yeah, it's still undefined. So it's not wanting to provide... yeah, which is going to be really annoying. Okay. On hand is another way to share data with the key data. It makes data available for all components and that does not dependence. Alright, cool. So because of this difference, you can't use inject inside a store since the store doesn't have a parent component to inject from. Alright, now I understand. I have learned. If you tried to do so, you'll be misunderstood. Let's say it would be pointless to limit data to certain components only to the. Alright, cool. Alright, so I'm gonna have to set up my own instance of Axios. So I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm gonna put the main over there. Because, yeah, I don't want to move out that access call from out of here. I think it belongs in here. It's all contained. It should be happy in here. All right, let's delete this console logs. Let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of that. Let's go console.log. I'm actually going to change that one to error because, you know, that's better. Made a mistake. I'll just go there. That's just going to be a lot easier if I do it like that. Alright, in fact, I'm going to get rid of that next tick completely. So we're just going to wait the permissions before doing any of that. However, that being said, I am going to be like, no. We can get that up. It's perfectly fine if the user sees the navbar be out and have the ghost stuff and all that kind of fun stuff. Alright. Okay, so going to the permissions, we're going to get rid of this and this. We're going to do that, but I'm going to have a look at the main. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. So we have an Axios instance. And then when I go down here,
we need to do it like that. So the idea of this is it'll pass through the CFRF tokens and all that kind of stuff, and we'll be happy. We'll be like, yay. Now, we have a problem. Object message. Request failed with status 404. Ba-bow. Alright, let's have a look. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm just going to close all of these other sort of tabs. I'm going to do the localhost API version 1, and then user permissions is the URL. I typed in the wrong thing. That's perfectly fine. I'm always like that. So we go down here. We're just going to replace all of that with that, making sure we get rid of any of the old stuff from the other end. We're just going to go up, up, and up, and we're just going to refresh everything. Looks like we've got no errors. Great news. Thank you, Socks, for kicking that. She's like, that's okay. We're going to go into here. We're going to have a look at the permissions. We've got permission arrays coming through, and we're like, yes. All right, so the next thing we want to do is, we've just hit a nut break again. All right, welcome everyone. You can just see Socks' little head. There we go. She's like, oh, hello. All right, so the permissions are coming along. I'm still a little upset that we don't have the group in as an object. I will look into how I can do that. I've just got to figure it out. The next thing I've got to also do... Well, now that we've got the permissions done, we can start doing the nav bar. So... if... it's going to be easy. Dealing with the nav bar from this point on. But I'm thinking, what can I do with the permissions and all that kind of stuff? So I'm thinking out how I can do it so I can convey to the user that there is still stuff loading. Yeah, alright. And I think that's going to have to happen on the next stream. It might be one of those things that I implement into Welk. Welcome back, everyone. So, getting back into it, permissions worked. Great. So we can use these permissions to sort of change these out, and we'll be like, yeah. By default, none of them will show, but also, that being said, the nav bar should... I'm trying to think how I can... Tell you what I'll do. I am going to create a situation. Let's say someone is on a slow internet and it takes forever to get the permissions. So we want to go into the views, we want to go into the API, we want to go into the object, the user data permission sets, and I'm just going to put a breakpoint right there. Perfect. I'm going to hit refresh, and as you see, all of this is bumped in. Now the problem is we don't know what the user permissions are. So one thing which we could potentially do is hide most of that and have a simple loading message. Now, other bits of data that we will probably require would be the profile details of the user. And a bunch of other things too. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just having a think. Because when we get the initial page, we still want to load in the other components, but we're really waiting. This is a doozy. So at the moment, we still haven't got the permissions. So if I go to the left over here and I go into the network tab, I don't have it there. But the permissions are still in here. If I go play, I don't know why it was saying I called it 3 times. I didn't really. As you can see, we then get those user permissions a bit later. So I'm also thinking that we need to check the route that the user's on. And the idea there is if they're, for example, if they full on search projects, but they don't have permission to edit or view any projects whatsoever, we need to get them out of there. And we need to redirect them to permission denied. And we need to do it quickly to... how big is the payload? I'm just going to delete everything. I'm just going to reload everything, and I'm just going to click on all. 2.6. All right, let's go regular 3G. So it comes in. It's the fonts that will take forever to load. Remember, this will be a lot quicker when it's compressed. Alright, so it's hit here. It should then get the permissions before doing anything else. This might be a before load. Yeah, give me a couple of seconds. I just want to figure... Oh, shoot. I just closed the thing I was trying to go to. Because the permissions are paramount. Need to be sorted first. We can't do anything else with this. So, for example, if a user goes onto, let's say, project search and stuff like that, and you... if you're going to check the permissions but haven't got the permissions yet from the back end, you could have race conditions where you do have permission, but the system says you don't have permission and forwards you somewhere else. That's going to annoy the bejeevers out of you if you follow the link from, let's say, someone else. The other thing is what you could potentially do is you might not have permission, and then it partially loads in that page and then forwards you somewhere else, but it requests data, and it just becomes a mess. So, permissions are paramount. So we've got an on mounted, that's perfectly fine, but we need a before mounted. Oh, piss off. So on before mount, and this will be an await, and it's going to be this. That's it. So we got to await everything. And then from here to do handle
permission check for the current
page. However, that can be done at the router level. I don't know if the route will do that on the first. We'll figure this one out. All right, so I am just going to hit reload. I just realized I don't need to throttle, so I'm going to turn that off, and I'm just going to reload again. All right, so everything's come in, cool. What I'm going to do is I am going to put another breakpoint back into here. We're just going to hit reload. Yeah, we need it to all right, VueJS lifecycle. Beep, 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 beep. Socks does not like that, but I do it to her because she does annoys the hell out of me, and it's my revenge. So we're done on before mounted. Register a hook that can be called right before the component is about to be mounted. It might be... We might have to do this a lot sooner.
Because yeah, this app is the highest it can go. Yeah, everything else needs to. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm just going to comment that out. I'm going to go up to the TS stuff. So I'm going to go main.ts. We're going to bring this over. Now it's almost 10 o'clock. I've got to finish up soon. I don't think I can do it up here. I'm just trying to think also. It might be async setup. Oh no, we've got that. All right, let's try that out. So async get data before mounting. This will be await. This will be permission store dot fetch permission data. Now I'm just going to hit refresh. Boom. All right. I'm just gonna stop and replay because I realize I closed the thing. It's sometimes just quicker to do it that way. I'm just gonna hit refresh. So notice how it's all white. This is kind of what we want. And then I'm just gonna hit play. Nothing happened, so I've broken stuff. All right, yep. No, I think I know. I just got to finish this up. So we've got the app view. We got to do the suspense stuff in here now. So in here, we've got this template. We just have the suspense and then the fallback. All right. So we've got the template. Like that. We just go down here with the template. Now, the template fallback sits inside there like this. We're just going to minimize to that. So that should do something. I'm just going to undo that for a second. We're going to and component async setups must be nested in. All right, I've done something wrong. Do I get rid of that template? Oh no, that looks like it's not gonna work. All right, yeah, that's definitely not gonna work. All right. Yeah, component app, but no suspense boundary was found in the parent component tree. Yeah, I don't know how we can implement this one. All right, I'm gonna delete the suspense for the moment. This is gonna throw up an issue, but that's not a problem. We just comment that out. We go back over here. We refresh. Everything's working. I need to make it so that I'm happy with the ghosting effects appearing and stuff like that. So a little loading template appearing. Those can be done very, very easily. And I think Welk, we could put them in Welk. So I'm just having a think about everything. I'm gonna have to do the suspense. I'm gonna have to do some more research again. I know I've done it before. We did it on the mock-up itself. So if we've got the mock-up, if you have a look, when it does that, you notice that there's like a couple of 3 dots and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll have a proper look at all of this later, but it's past 10 o'clock at the moment. We are going to have to raid someone just because I've got a little bit more work to do tonight for my 9 to 5. So we're going to raid Bad Cop.
And thank you very much, Zolori. I do apologize if I pronounced your name terribly. I am terrible with your name. So yeah, thank you very much. I do hope to see you next stream. Hopefully I will have this figured out by then. I think I got some time tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, let's raid on through to Bad Cop. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And for those on YouTube, sadly you won't be able to join us with the raid, but thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help the channel. So yeah, thank you.